Hey guys, in this video we're looking at Christmas Carol and we're focusing on Stave 3. So we're looking at the Ghost of Christmas Present. So in Stave 3, Dickens shifts the focus from Scrooge to past to the present. The Ghost of Christmas Present shows how people across society celebrate Christmas, particularly the Cratchit family. Through these scenes, Dickens highlights the contrast between wealth and poverty and emphasizes the importance of generosity, kindness, and social responsibility. Quick summary then. So, the Ghost of Christmas Present takes Scrooge on a journey through the celebrations happening that very day. First, the spirit represents generosity and abundance. Scrooge observes the Cratchit family enjoying Christmas despite their poverty, and he meets Tiny Tim, who is Bob Cratchit's sixth son. The spirit also shows Fred celebrating Christmas with friends. Finally, the ghost reveals two disturbing children called Ignorance and Want, symbolizing the dangers of poverty and lack of education. Key quote 1 is, "I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast." Here, Bob Cratchit proposes a toast to Scrooge even though Scrooge treats him poorly. This highlights Bob's kindness and forgiveness. Dickens presents the Cratchits as morally rich despite being financially poor, reinforcing the message that generosity and gratitude are more important than wealth. Key quote 2 is, "God bless us, everyone." This is Tiny Tim's famous line, symbolizing innocence, hope, and universal kindness. The phrase everyone suggests that compassion should extend to all people in society, and Dickens uses Tiny Tim to appeal to readers' emotions and encourage sympathy for the poor. Key quote 3 is, "This boy's ignorance, this girl is want." Here, the ghost reveals two starving children hidden beneath his robe. They represent social problems in Victorian society. Ignorance symbolizes the lack of education, whilst want represents poverty, and Dickens warns that these issues are dangerous if society ignores them. The Cratchit family. So the Cratchits represent warmth, love, and unity. Even though they struggle financially, they are grateful for what they have and they care deeply for one another. And Dickens uses the Cratchits to show that happiness does not depend on wealth. Their family bond contrasts strongly with Scrooge's loneliness. Themes in Stave 3. So Stave 3 develops the theme of generosity through the spirit and the Cratchit family. Dickens also highlights social responsibility by showing the harsh realities of poverty. Through ignorance and want, he warns that society must address these problems. Family and community are presented as essential sources of happiness and support. In a grade 9 interpretation, then. So, at a deeper level, Dickens uses the stave to criticize Victorian society's treatment of the poor. The wealthy often ignored social inequality, believing poverty was the fault of the poor themselves. By showing the kindness and dignity of the Cratchit family, Dickens challenges this belief. The figures of ignorance and want act as a warning that neglecting poverty and education could lead to serious consequences for society. The exam style paragraph model says, how does Dickens present Scrooge in Stave 3? So we've got the answer of, in Stave 3, Dickens presents poverty as difficult but not incompatible with happiness. The Cratchit family are financially poor, yet they celebrate Christmas with warmth and kindness. Gratitude. Bob Cratchit's toast to Scrooge as the founder of the feast highlights his kindness and forgiveness despite Scrooge's cruelty. Dickens also introduces Tiny Tim, whose phrase, "God bless us, everyone," symbolizes innocence and compassion. However, the ghost's revelation of ignorance and want presents poverty as a serious social problem. Through these contrasting images, Dickens creates a society's neglect of the poor and encourages readers to show greater empathy and responsibility. Why Stave 3 matters. So, Stave 3 is crucial because it reveals the human consequences of Scrooge's selfishness. By seeing how the Cratchit family lives, Scrooge begins to understand the suffering caused by greed and inequality, and the introduction of Tiny Tim raises the emotional stakes, whilst ignorance and want provide Dickens the strongest warning about the dangers of ignoring poverty.